Good evening. This is All Sports with LD, coming back at you with another YouTube post from my YouTube channel. Before I get into tonight's content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Okay, let's start with it. When I first saw the headlines, I was a bit shocked, honestly. Seeing that Juwan Howard, the coach of Michigan University basketball, men's basketball, I was really shocked. And this points me back to leadership is important. Now, I'm going to go through this and take a look at what actually happened. As I read the article before I started this post, something jumped out at me, so let me go to it. In the final minute of Wisconsin's 77-63 home win on Sunday, Gard, hope I'm pronouncing that name right, substituted his walk-ons into the game. Michigan, which still had its regulars on the floor, was pressing full court, leading Gard to call a timeout to settle his team and give it a chance to cross half court without turning the ball over. Following the final buzzer, Gard grabbed Howard's arm as he walked past in an attempt to stop and talk to him. Now here it is, right here. First and foremost, Gard had no business placing his hands on Howard. If you want to shake a man's hand, you reach your hand out there for him to shake your hand. If he doesn't shake your hand, so be it. But you have no right putting your hands on another person's body, invading their space. You have no right to do so. Now, I think Gard, it says here Gard, I think Gard will face punishment. He absolutely should, because there is no way you get away with doing something like that. You're invading someone's personal space. It's disrespectful, and you have a disregard for someone's personal space, which is his body. So, as I read the article, I didn't see that addressed. I'm not sure if Gard will face any action, discipline action. However, be that as it may, Howard, as a leader of the men's college basketball team at the University of Michigan, had absolutely no right losing control, number one, and number two, striking Grabenhoft. No right. And this is where my opinion is that, from an extreme point of view, and it may be unfair, but so be it. As a leader, you're not allowed to be out of control like this on a national stage. Not allowed. Unacceptable. I don't care what happens. I'm not saying that Gard wasn't at fault for grabbing Howard's arm. He shouldn't have done that. However, Howard should not have reacted in that way. He should have turned to Gard and said, "Please take your hands off me. You don't have the right to touch me." But it is not acceptable as a leader to be out of control and strike someone in a basketball court, especially on national television. Simply unacceptable. There is no excuse for it. See, we only have control of what we do as people and as leaders. You can't control what someone else is doing, but you have control over yourself. And what Juwan Howard did was unacceptable. Now, some people may disagree with me. They chose to suspend him 5 games, which is the rest of the season. Some people may disagree with my opinion, but I think he should be terminated as the head coach. Plain and simple. Maybe that's a bit extreme, but that's just how I feel. Because as a leader, going into accepting a leadership position, you ought to know there is no room for you to behave in this manner. No room. Because what does that say to the young men that you are leading? It's showing basically you don't have control of your emotions. I get it. You may have been upset by losing the game and then further exacerbate the situation by someone grabbing on you. I get it. But again, as a leader, you can't respond this way. You could have turned around and said, please get your hands off of me. You don't have the right to touch me. If you refuse, you can physically remove someone's hand off of you. And then you go a step further and striking the person that has absolutely nothing to do with grabbing you. So it's just an all-around bad example. And I want to point out something here, what Jawan said. Lastly, I speak a lot about being a Michigan man and representing the University of Michigan with class and pride. I did not do that, nor did I set the right example or the right way for my student athletes. I will learn from my mistakes, and this mistake will never happen again. No excuses. I'm glad that he made a statement. That's fine. But see, again, you're a leader. And as a leader, there's just no room for this. I mean, that's fine and great. You know, you self-reflected and you apologize to everyone. But more importantly, it's not a good look as a leader. And I've talked about in my previous posts about leadership is important. And I've been in leadership before, and I understand the stresses for leadership. And as a leader, unfair as it may seem, you're not allowed to make any mistakes. And I know many people are going to disagree with that, and I get it. But at the end of the day, you're a leader of a national program that plays basketball on a national platform. You're not allowed to lose your cool. Maybe he will learn from this, but this is not a good look for Jawan. Maybe I'm being too overly harsh. Maybe some people will think I'm being overly harsh. But the bottom line is, this is a stain on his character. And I want people to understand why I'm saying this, because I'm speaking specifically about leadership. When you are a leader, the standards are very high. It's unfair. It absolutely is. But he knew that going into this, becoming the leader of this men's basketball team. So when you take a leadership position, especially in any company that you're a part of, you take a leadership position, you have to know going in, there are no mistakes allowed. Period. I don't care if you're having a bad day. There are no mistakes allowed. And I hope not to see Jawan Howard respond in any way like this ever again. Because if it happens again, that's automatic termination. There is no suspension. Really, he should have been fired right away. But again, maybe I'm being a little bit too extreme. However, next time around, automatic termination. You cannot do this. You cannot behave like this. I don't care what the circumstances are. When you are a leader of a national men's basketball team playing on national television, you cannot respond this way. It's a bad look. We'll see what happens going forward. We'll see what happens next season when they play next season. We'll see if Duran has addressed this issue with himself as a leader. For now, that's what I have. Have a good evening.